at least. That's good. Yeah.
It's fine. Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
We're
So,
excited to have you today.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm excited to be there as well.
Yeah, so I guess we can just start off by like, you introducing yourself, like telling us like a little bit about what you do. Normally I would ask the audience to like put their questions in the chat as well, but that's okay. It'll just be me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So my name is Alessa. My artistic name is Alessa XO, which is like, the kiss sign. And yeah, I do music, acting, and hosting, but I'm basically a singer-songwriter. That's what I'm focusing on a lot right now. And yeah, I live in New York normally. Right now, I am in my home country in Austria due to the coronavirus situation. But I plan on returning by the beginning of September, maybe earlier even. So when things have calmed down a little bit, I'm gonna return. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know like everything's been disrupted by the coronavirus and yeah. So how have you been like able to work from home, or like what does like your remote process look like?
Yeah, I've been able to work from home, but I also, so the thing is like, I actually have parts of my team where I live when I'm in Austria, so where I'm from. So I'm gonna get into this like explanation a little bit later, but a lot of my team is actually from Germany and Austria that I work with, at least on my new album. I work with them on my new album, so they're around. And when you're an artist, you can basically do home recordings. Like every project that I've like done in the past few months has been like home recorded kind of, or if I've written a song, I've sent the demo over, and we've conversed like that. We haven't been back to the studio yet, but we're planning a new release, so everything like that had to be from home. And then now, because our restrictions actually have eased up, so we already have normal things going on since like May 15th. So since May 15th, we're actually able to, go out again and, record, like we're able to work again. So it's a little bit different than in the US, I would say right now. But until that point, I was doing most of the stuff from home. But I feel like, every single casting site that I submitted to and everything, it was all like work from home anyways. So it was really like that there was going to be an in-person audition, or there was going to be an in-person project anyways for a long time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they pretty much adapted. So
That's
yeah.
good though, like that your transition was pretty easy. Like it wasn't like too much of a hassle or anything. Like you're still able to manage from home, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice. I mean, I had a lot of people send me, their beats and everything, so I could also like explore new opportunities in that way. And I've been conversing with like new artists as well that I might want to collaborate with in the future. So yeah, it's been great. It's been good, but I mean, I didn't love the isolation, don't get me wrong. Like I just made it work for myself, but I was lucky because I left New York, I think right at the right time, because it got pretty crazy over there with the lockdowns. And in Austria, where I'm from, it's like a small town, so there's more nature. So you focus on nature, and it's like you're sort of out in the woods or at the lake, and you don't really notice that there's so much of a difference in terms of your life. And I was close to family, which was really, really nice and important to me during that time, and make sure that they were safe and healthy, and like I also helped my mom in her practice. She's a doctor, so I helped her in her practice with her patients on a volunteer basis, but yeah, that was basically my quarantine life.
I like that you're being productive. Like I know, like me during quarantine, I'm just like sitting around doing nothing. So that's definitely very for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit of a workaholic because I also do real estate stuff. So I'm also like, in touch with clients, and I actually closed the deal from abroad because I'm a bit of a workaholic in that way. But, I was very happy that I could at least do something, because I was like, when I heard like it was going to be like, months of lockdown and quarantine, I was like, wow, okay, how am I gonna do this? Because
Right.
I'm very social and I don't really like to just stay at home and do
Right.
nothing. But yeah, you know, safety and health first. So
Yeah,
obviously,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. You mentioned like in Austria you have like the woods and like a lot of nature. So like, does a lot of your songwriting inspiration come from like sources like that, or like in New York, like your surroundings? Like, how do you like get inspiration for your music?
So it always depends, but I think the most inspiration I get actually is from life experiences, from my own experiences with people, friends, you know, partners, let's say everything. So interpersonal relationships, I would say, or you know, pain that I go through, or great times that I go through, because you know, not all of my music is like about pain, but like some of it is also like very fun. Um, but yes, one song in particular that's already out is called Neverland. I actually wrote that song when I was in Puerto Rico, and I was very inspired by, you know, the nature in Puerto Rico, like the jungle and everything like that, and the beaches and everything. It was very, you know, it's part of the US, but it's very different in a way. Like it's very I don't know how to describe it. It's just very, very, very different, and a lot of nature that's beautiful, and it just really inspired me. So that song I wrote when I was there, and I was definitely inspired by the nature, which I was also saying in a press release that we did for that song, that that is actually the first song that I wrote from the album, and that's why I wanted it, even though it was a ballad, because I feel like a lot of people release like very like high energy tracks at first to get attention, or to like, you know, get people like moving, you know. But mine was actually a ballad, and I released that first after I did like an anthem for a festival, which was more of a, you know, um how to say, like a faster song or high energy song. But the ballad was very important to me to release that at first, because I wrote it the first from the new album, and I also, you know, I wanted for that to be like the first song that I released, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's the
I
reason.
heard it like a few days ago, and like it sounded very nice. Like I liked how it wasn't like too like, I don't know, poppy. Like it was very subtle, but it was like really good. Like I really
Yeah.
liked it. Like the way you like
Thank,
blended everything, like it was so good. Yeah.
thank you. Really sweet.
Yeah.
We do have like remixes that like some of our producers did, and it's like we named them after planets. It was an idea of my producer, but I think it's quite a cool one. So you know, if you see like a Venus remix or Mars remix, like it's just like a different vibe to the song. So we have like a lot of different remixes. So it's not just like the slow ballad, but it's like other types of, you know, other types of elements mixed in it as well, you know. But
I know that you can cater
yeah,
to types of audiences, so yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah, exactly. That was the plan. You know, if they want to play it like in a club or in like a higher energy place, then you know they have the option to do that, because there's a remix that fits it. You know, so yeah, that was great. And like the video was shot in London and Austria. Um, that was such an amazing project. We had so much fun when we did it. I lived in London for 4 years. I studied there, and London is insane when it comes to music and the artists that you have in that city, and you know the performers. Like, there's just so many great people out there, you know. And I did the video with a friend of mine who was an actor, and he, you know, he was, I actually found him from a friend's profile, because he was doing a shoot with him, and I was casting for my video. I was like, I need like a specific type of looking person in that video, you know, this like artsy looking person, you know, this and that. And then I basically came across him, and I was like, oh my god, this is a perfect look, like as if he was like sent to me, you know, because I had no idea like how else I was gonna find that person. But and you know, you don't want to go around like asking people, oh, you want to be in my video, like it's a bit, you know. But we had such a good time, like him, me, and the filmmaker. It was just three of us, and we had the best time. We went to all the places where I had friends, you know, like where we could use their locations almost for free. It was just like, you know, it was a very low budget video, but it looks really good, I think, for that, for it being that. And that I find fascinating, you know, if you can do something that doesn't cost like $1 million, but it still looks amazing and we still have so much art in it. Like I had some artists that I featured in it because I'm big on art. Actually, I also love, like, I'm friends with a lot of artists and I love collecting, you know, pieces from artists, meaning not just singers, but like also, you know, people that paint or do like pop art, graffiti or whatever, street artists. And I had a lot of these artists where we would film in front of their walls. Like they would reach on, they would be like, "Oh my God, like this is so cool! Like we're honored, you know, this is amazing," and that led to like a friendship. And yeah, it's just great because it captures like all my favorite places in London before I left, you know, because I left London to move to New York, and that was just, you know, a great memory, if anything. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So like you started off in London and you recorded your video there and like you met so many great people like you mentioned. So like could you tell us like a little bit about like your whole like networking process and like how you meet these types of individuals and like how you connect with them? Like what tips you would
Yeah,
have for like other musicians?
sure. So the first song I ever recorded, I answered to a casting call. Like I was 18 and I was living in New York, and there was a casting call about like somebody looking for, you know, singers and whatnot, and I answered it, and then the guy picked out a few people that he was gonna record a song with, and I was chosen to do that, you know, which was really cool because I was so young and I just came from like my small town, and like I had like no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of trying my luck. And so
Mm,
that was my first experience. So I think, you know, networking on social media is a good way, not just like casting sites, but also social media. Like I think Instagram is a great platform, I think, for singers. And I yet have to get on this, but I heard from my best friend who works in media and entertainment, that TikTok is the new platform for artists like singers and whatnot, you know. So
mm-hmm.
I think, you know, networking with people, with other artists, on Instagram, TikTok, maybe Twitter, YouTube could be one, you know, if somebody has a YouTube channel and, you know, you just get in touch with them and like network with them. I had a lot of people just write me. I'm very selective with who I work with because I only want to work with people that where it's serious, you know, because I've had a lot of experiences where people were talking a lot and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that," and then in the end, like, you know, there wasn't really something coming out of it because, you know,
Right,
oh, you know, let's party instead, you know. And I'm a person, yes, let's party, but like let's party when we've done it, you know, like
right.
let's party when we've done the project, when we've come somewhere, you know, when we've gotten somewhere. But yeah, I think the social medias, and then when you're out, I mean, I'm also a fan of like in-person interactions, and you know, I'm not the hugest at this age. I'm not the biggest fan of the club scene, but because I love the individual artistic events more, where, you know, there's not a lot of tourists, but you meet people, actual people from the industry, or Soho House events. I go to a lot, or art galleries, and you know, this is more my vibe. But I have to admit, like, I met a lot of connections in music industry, in the club as well, in my, you know, in my past, and in
Mm,
London especially. Like, there's a lot of artists that just like they go out a lot, you know, and like you meet them, and you know, I don't know, Instagrams, and like then basically like maybe in the future work together, you know. So I wouldn't, I mean, everybody has their own preference, but I would definitely recommend just like, and then there's networking events as well, you know, like sometimes when you meet that one person that takes you to like a lot of networking events, let's say, or at least like tells you where they are, that's always good, you know, that's always
mm-hmm.
good. So I always believe in, you know, you see where people go, and like you put yourself in the right places, you know, and then yeah, and then you just become friends. But it's more like I don't usually, I'm gonna just move. I don't usually believe in like imposing yourself or forcing yourself onto people. Like I've met a lot of well-known rappers, let's say, because I was friends with the manager of like a hip hop bar club, and so he would always introduce me to help me, which was really nice of him. He doesn't really work there anymore, I think now, but you know, for a long time he did. And so I met like people like Millie Rock, or I met Justin Timberlake once, but I don't believe in imposing myself, so I don't really like yes, if a friendship happens, if a collaboration happens, that's really great. But like, you know, I'm not gonna be like chasing, oh, you know, please do this with me and whatever, you know. Which you know, if you want to do that, that's up to you. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. I think it has to come naturally, you know. And I did a master's in music and arts business management, so it was about like the arts business in general, but more about the music industry. And one of my teachers who worked with Madonna in the past on her releases and stuff, she told me, she's like, you know, never chase and never like try to find, but be found, you know, like always, yeah, let them come to you. That being the message, you know? Yeah.
I love that. Such a great message to like keep in mind. It's like, you know, like if you really
Yeah.
if you really care about your work, you should be concentrating on that more rather than trying to like chase people down and like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's tempting, you know, I think it's very tempting. And sometimes you don't know what to do. You think like, oh, but maybe it's good, you know, if I, you know, if I propose this and whatever, you know, or if I like ask to take a picture, ask to take this, but it has to naturally develop. Like if you see a picture with me and a celebrity on my Instagram account, for instance, then it was just that right moment where, you know, I felt comfortable being like, okay, hey, should we like capture the moment? Should we like take a picture? Because there's been a lot of times where I just didn't take a picture because I was like, it doesn't feel right. It feels too imposed. It feels too forced, and I don't want to. I want to meet them on a level, on a normal level, like eye level, and not like, oh, you're higher than me, and like I'm like a groupie, you know. That yeah. So,
Yeah.
but networking is definitely very important, you know, and some people are. I think some people are better at it than me, to be honest, because I'm, you know, sometimes I'm very much in the mood and I can, you know, tell them all about it, but sometimes I also get shy, you know, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know how to, like, how do I talk about myself now, you know? Like, I do get shy, so it depends on if I feel comfortable with that group or person or in that situation, because, yeah, you know, sometimes life is tough. Like, you get uncomfortable sometimes, you know? And
Yeah.
it's normal. I think it's human to, like, put the charger.
I think you really just have to like expose yourself to those situations and you can like get better at it, you know? Yeah, I
Yeah.
also know that you've gotten a lot of like attention like on your music and like you've been in a lot of different like magazines and like a lot of different places like you've been featured. So like what are your strategies for getting more exposure and like how did you get more exposure?
Okay, so I'm proud of this because I did all of this myself because I only just now signed with a management in Atlanta. Shout out to North End Inc. They're amazing. So I just signed with them now. We met through a friend of mine. My friend basically showed them my stuff, and then we had a call. You know, COVID, it was like a video call. And we connected, and then, you know, we sort of talked for a little bit, and then we just were like, okay, what are our visions? What is my vision? What is your vision? And then it just worked out, you know. And now we're gonna try it, and we're gonna have like 6 months for now, and then we're gonna see how it works and everything. But so I'm going back in September, so that's when the most of the things are gonna happen, obviously, because they are in the US and I'm here in Europe. But the rest, so, you know, I did the body painting festival. I was asked to do the body painting festival, and I was the headliner 2018. And so 2018, I released a track with the World Body Painting Festival, where the event, where this is a festival in my town where I'm from, but there's people from all over the world. It has a lot of attendance. It's like worldwide famous. Like we had like Americans, we had you know, Asians, Australians came. Like it's a really big deal, actually, you know. And so I got a lot of press because of that, because I was headlining it, and I was basically on stage with all the winners of the festival, and it's like different categories, you know, because it's like, and I was body painted, you know, they painted my whole body for 5 hours, so, and I performed in straight up body paint. And so you know, after that, like, it was very cool because the mayor of our town actually wrote me a letter and sent it to my New York home, because I was named Corinthian of the Day due to like that accomplishment. And then the organizer asked me to do it the next year again. And the next year was also really cool. I wasn't the headliner the next year, but that was because they had like the person who won the song contest from Austria doing the headlines. So you know, I was one of the like acts before them, and it's just like, it was just like amazing to be in a show with that person, because that person, like, you know, has been having a great career, and it's just like an honor. And yeah, so I got pressed because of that. And then people were requesting interviews, and then they were saying, okay, they want to play the song on the radio, and they also want to be part of the next release, and they want to you know, feature the next release on the radio as well. So, and then people started requesting the song as well in Austria, which was really great. So they were, you know, they would call into the radio station, and they would be like, oh, can you play like Neverlands? And that was really amazing. Like, you know, I was in New York when this happened, but there's recordings that you can see on the internet from that, when people request songs, you know, when you Google a specific thing on that channel. And, you know, my family and my, you know, my friends would send it to me on my WhatsApp. They'd be like, oh, you should check this out. Like, somebody just requested your song, you know? And that was really great. Yeah. And I think some of the, you know, apart from the body painting festival, I was doing performances in London before and in New York as well. So I think some of the, you know, some of the features were also about that, you know, like either when I would release a new track or some performance that I did either in Austria, New York, or London. So that was cool. Or when I would release my music video, you know, that they would like feature that as well. So yeah, basically those, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's definitely a very unique way to gain exposure, like through a music festival, and like you were performing along like such a diverse group of people. Like it's definitely a great way to like meet all different types of people, and like also gain like a lot of exposure. Like you were headlining it, so obviously it was like a big part of your career. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It's just like it's cool to there's different things that have happened because of that, you know, different opportunities and everything. Yeah, and it's incredible, you know. I'm very lucky in that sense. So yeah, but I'm not done. So I have like a long way to go still. So, you know.
Yeah, you're definitely working really hard. So like we can tell that you're definitely gonna go. You've gotten a lot of exposure now. You're definitely gonna get a lot more. But yeah.
Aw. Yeah, I mean, I hope that one day, you know, I'll be like, I think a dream performance for me, honestly, would be like, obviously at the American Music Festivals like Coachella. Oh my God, that would be my absolute dream. I've been there twice. I mean, as an audience member, you know, but that would be my absolute dream, to go to Coachella and like be a performer, or one of the other ones, even, you know, one of the big ones, like Governor's Ball in New York City is an amazing one, you know, or Lollapalooza as well. Even though right now, you know, with the festivals, like, I mean, when are they gonna start again, you know? We don't know. But we just have to see. I just love festivals in general. I love performing. I love like connecting with people, you know. I think it's such a great feeling. And for me, like, I love the creation process of the arts. Like, so, you know, going to the studio, recording it, like writing it, changing it, and then concepting the video, shooting the video, like all this stuff is like, yeah. And when you see the final product, you know, like you get really nervous, like at least I do, you know, because it's kind of your baby, and you obviously want people to like it, and then it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, but it must be such a good feeling, like once you're like all done, it's like, oh my gosh, like all this hard work that like I've built up to, and like you get like this final product that's like so amazing. Like that must be like such a great feeling.
Yeah, no, it's really great. It's really great. I mean, I really love that. That's why I always keep like, you know, even old stuff. Like I don't delete anything from my Instagram, even stuff that's not as well as like as high quality as maybe the posts that I post now. I don't delete them because they're like my memories, you know, and they're like my music journey, and I don't want to delete it just to look perfect. Like I don't want to do that, you know. And I think I still, like, even there I have a lot to learn, you know, because there's people like they know every single angle, like how to like pose and everything, like this and that, you know. And I'm just like, oof, okay, I got a lot to learn there. But yeah, I don't want to delete anything because it's just part of, you know, what made me me until now. And also all the people I met, you know, through the arts and through everything that I did. Like, yeah, I don't ever want to like forget these moments, so I don't delete anything.
Yeah, I
But
love that so much. It's like, yeah, I love that.
yeah, definitely great.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
sorry, what?
Sorry, you can go. Yeah.
No, one of the things that I forgot to mention is like what I would love, is for a song at some point to just be in a movie, like in a movie soundtrack. I was
Yeah,
always thinking of that. Like, apart from being in a big, big American festival, this was like always another one where I was like, this would just be so amazing. Like, if I could have a song in like a movie that is just awesome, a really good movie that people love to watch, that would be, insane.
right.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the steps that you're taking though, like, cause like clearly you built up to it like so much. Like now you've just signed with an Atlanta music company, and so I guess like, can you talk to us like a little bit about like the whole process, like what comes next from there?
From what we're gonna do now with the management, yes, of course. So what we're gonna do now is I'm basically planning my next release with them and also with my team in Austria here. So what's gonna happen is we have the locations because obviously I'm gonna be in New York in September only, but we want to do the video before. So I already have the locations, which are really cool. And now we have to do the storyboard, all of us together, and see what's a good story that we could do. Also, because we're sort of unsure. We have two tracks in mind, and we still have to like have a discussion and decide because we could use the locations for both. We just have to change the storyboard. But we're still deciding like which one would be better to shoot in Austria and to like with the story that it fits. And do we need actors? Do we not need actors? This and that. So we're still in the process of that. And then once that's done, we're gonna record the video in late August with a team from Austria. And then after that, we're gonna, build up to the release. And once we release it, I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna be featured in some of the outlets again. Hopefully, get a lot of radio exposure, and then I will finally be back in the US,
Yeah.
and then hopefully we can plan some shows. And obviously, if COVID wasn't happening right now, like we would be planning shows. Like that's what we would be doing right now. Like I would fly back to the US, and we would be trying to get into shows everywhere, like left and right, and just
Yeah.
do performances basically, and do collaborations if possible, and do like features, and do all this fun stuff, that you do, and always keep on writing. Like I wrote 3 new songs in quarantine because I was inspired by the silence,
Yeah.
that I was surrounded with, and the peaceful quarantine that we all had. No, but I wrote 3 songs, so like obviously I'm gonna, my team in Austria already has like 2 of the demos, and now I'm gonna see what they think about them once we pre-record a little bit of that. I'm gonna see what my team says about them in Atlanta. Let's see if they like it or not. But I also have plans to like work with a few specific people when I get back, like a few specific producers in the studio. So I think that will be great,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the plan for now. And yeah, and that's
Yeah. Sure.
I
I
think
love.
that's a lot to do. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
COVID's like kind of like set everything back for some time, but I like that you're making the most of your time and like writing 3 songs. So is there like
Yeah.
anything you would like change when you were younger? Like, is there anything you would do differently? Or
Yes, of course. I would totally educate myself about the music business very much before I got into it, very much before, because I had some scammer stuff going on, when I was younger. Which, obviously I think a lot of artists have these stories on a very high level where they got signed into like a crazy contract that like, didn't help them very much. But I have them on a little bit of a lower level. I have it like with my first EP, if I had known a little bit more, I think I could have saved myself some money. And I think I could have saved myself maybe like a sort of like not so good experience, but it's, you know, it wasn't dramatic, you know, it wasn't like anything that I can't get over, and I got over it, and it's fine, and it's brought me to where I am now. But I think an advice is like always educate yourself, who you're working with, you know, who are these people, like are they really who they say they are, you know, are they good at what they do, are they not overcharging, do they actually have the connections they say they have, when that's the main point where you're getting together. And yeah, and just be open, like don't, one of the other things, like this was not something, because it's like, I don't think I ever did it like that, but I see a lot of people like getting a little bit of buzz and then not, you know, appreciating the people that they started with, which I think that's a big mistake, you know, because the people that you started with are the people that are gonna that helped you get to where you are, you know. So you can't really like ever, you know, there's big people and they still go to their like favorite producer or their first producer or something, you know, because they know the success comes from like being in a team, you know, and there's people like working with you that makes you great. So it's not just you, that's, you know. And yeah, and that's one of the things. But other than that, no, I think another thing, I think I would have worked a little bit hard in London, to be honest. I would have done more performances than I did, and I would have also collaborated with more people when I still lived there, because now I don't live there anymore, and now if I want to work with somebody, I have to travel there. But when I was there, I could have just worked with everyone, you know, like I could just like worked and just done track after track after track, you know, which unfortunately I didn't do because I was studying as well and I was very busy. So I had like my energy was just not there because I was so focused on doing my degree and stuff. So it was difficult for me to combine it, you know, like it was difficult to do it after everything that I had to do for, you know, the other part of my life. But I think I would still somehow try to manage that. I would still somehow try to, you know, still work with English people a lot because they're very good. Again, you know, really incredible musicians and producers. And yeah, I mean, if you look who's coming out of London, for example, artist wise, you know, it's always people that win Grammys. It's always people that like, you know, stay in your mind forever because the music is just so good. Like you can't deny that industry. It's like so good, you know? So that's one thing that I would have done that more.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. But like you mentioned, like even if they were mistakes, they like brought you to where you are today, and like you like grew, like you like learned from them, and like now you know like what to do differently, and I think that's really valuable to like know that. Yeah.
I think one more thing is like don't let people hold you back at all either, because at the end of the day, like, you know, I feel like it's always when you're trying to do something different, a lot of people are gonna be like, no, like why would you do that? It's not gonna work. Or people are gonna be like, no, I don't want my partner to do this or whatever. But like this is a big mistake. Like you're gonna regret that kind of thing a lot because you have to do what makes you happy. And if that's the arts and if that's creating songs and working with people in the studio and like doing videos and doing photo shoots and all this stuff, that's super important to fulfill yourself, because at the end of the day, like that's what matters, you know, like your happiness, not what other people say. And it's just like such a generic thing that we always say, but it's like we get so influenced by not even knowing. And I'm still fighting against that too sometimes, because I'm still, like I said, shy sometimes, you know, with posting stuff, or like, oh, do I look good in this, or do I sound good on that, you know, that kind of feeling. But just go for it, like, you know, just go for it.
Yeah.
It's important, you know,
take
to
every
get
opportunity.
out
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like a really good note to like end on, and like a really good message that our artists should like keep in mind. Like, you know, like take advantage of every opportunities. Do your research, like you mentioned. Like, take opportunities that you know like you're gonna gain something out of, but like also something you can learn from. And I think your experiences are like super inspiring, and like how you've gotten there is just really valuable and like really amazing to know. And I know that you're gonna like get really far because your music is amazing, and then also your work ethic is just unmatchable.
Thank you so much. One last thing that I'm gonna end on is like, you know, I always had an alto voice, meaning, you know, I wasn't like a belter, and I wasn't like a soprano. And when I was younger, like every girl like had to have like this high voice that's like, you know, sort of like Ariana Grande, like, which, you know, obviously nobody has Ariana Grande's voice, but and that's an incredible voice. Like, don't get me wrong, but I only recently started embracing my voice because also, you know, in the charts it would be like more people with an alto voice, like Dua Lipa or, you know, Amy Winehouse, or like other people like Marble has like kind of an alto voice as well. And you know, they're all over the charts. And I was like, you know, I can't believe I doubted my own voice for so long just because it wasn't soprano, you know. That was another thing. So always embrace your uniqueness, you know, and don't compare yourself too much to like somebody you might think is like, oh my God, you know, that voice is just so incredible and this voice is like so much better than mine or something. But it's not really about being better. It's more about being unique and about having your own style and your own thoughts and your own like music, you know, and the message and whatever. So yeah, don't get caught up in like being like, oh, this person's so much better or this and that, because that just wastes your time. Just, you know, love them, give them love, be like, oh my God, I'm your fan, but be your own fan as well. So
I know like what's going on with Britney Spears. Like you've probably heard like, you know, like her, like how like she was forced to do like a baby voice, even though her voice was like a lot deeper.
I've heard
so,
a little bit of, I find that really crazy. I mean, this is like, this tops of 2020 for me, you know, like hearing that, like that she's basically in a prison, I guess. I mean, apparently, I mean, we don't know, right? But like apparently, like lots of, I read some stuff about it and I was like, this is crazy. And especially if you can sing so well and then you have to do a different voice because, you know, you're in competition with another voice that sounds similar, it's a bit tough. Like it's yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that, but it's definitely not a good thing. So
yeah, just like embrace uniqueness, and like if you're happy, then everything will turn out all right, you know.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I understand when sometimes somebody gives you creative direction and tells you, okay, like this is better for you to do and go in this direction. And hey, I'm all for it. These are experts, you know, these are media experts, and you know, I guess somebody wouldn't be so rich if they didn't listen to that. But at the same time, like you don't want to change your whole being, you know. You want to take advice, but you don't want to change your essence as a person or your whole being, you know. I think that's what it's more about. Like if somebody requires you to completely like bend over backwards just to have any kind of career, it's like, yeah. I think a compromise is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Like, I really appreciate it so much. Like, it was a really good conversation. I learned so much from you, and I know our artists will like gain so much like valuable insight from your experiences.
You're like the nicest person ever. Thank you. No. I have to give it back. Thank you for your time and for your effort and everything. Especially thank you for your effort for trying to start the video chat like 15 times.
That was the whole complication. Now it's Instagram's fault. Instagram's frustrating.
I'm gonna have this talk with Instagram now. Like this is just, I can't go on like this, you know, I can't. Like yeah. No, it was lovely to speak to you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
And also thanks to Adrian.
Adrian for setting this up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll link like your links below, like whenever I post this video, and then that should be.
Thank
good.
you. That's so sweet. I'm super excited to see it.
Yeah. I hope your music journey goes well, and I hope like COVID continues to give you more inspiration for songs while it lasts.
I actually hope COVID doesn't continue and I can get my inspiration from somewhere else.
Yeah.
For everyone in the world. I don't want anyone more to get sick, you know, like no. Done. It's done. Like we should be done with this, you know. Yeah.
2020 has been like this marathon. Yeah.
It's been an interesting year to say the least. Yes, definitely. It's very strange year. Like very strange year. But you know what's good about this year is that next year it has to be better. Like it just has to be better. It has to
you have one bad year, the next one has to be better. Yeah.
It just has to just improve from now on, you know. It's like when you're low, like things, you know, the pendulum always swings back. Basically, it has to, you know, at some point. So I think we're gonna be all right, even if it took a while. So yeah.
It'll all be okay, and then you'll be back in your music studio soon with even better
Yeah.
inspiration.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Hopefully, bringing out the next bangers. Yeah.
yeah. But
Right.
thank you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you have a nice evening. Like it's evening there, right, in Austria. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of raining, so it's like all day already. All day already. It's been raining, and I was just with my friends in Mykonos for a week, and that was beautiful there. Like beautiful sunshine and amazingness, and now it's like just raining. So, but
Yeah.
yes, we'll have a good day. It's fine. Maybe the
Oh,
rain can inspire me to write a new song or something. We'll see. See
yeah.
what happens. Okay.
Yeah. But
Well, it was
thank
really
you.
nice to speak to you.
You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Have a
Well,
good day.
you too. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.